Hello, it's Frank and Marc from the Check Out This Record podcast, and this is Check Out This Song. We have one of my favorite Frank Sinatra songs, and that song is "It Was a Very Good Year." Now, Marc, you've known me for years, and you've known that my father's favorite was Frank Sinatra. He was almost fanatical about him. I mean,
hmm
Thanksgiving would come, and bam, Sinatra Christmas album would go on. It wouldn't stop until Christmas was over. Someone once recommended to him the Barbra Streisand Christmas album, saying it was even better than Old Blue Eyes. The
Oh
first
wow.
minute, yeah, the first minute he put that, the first minute of the first song, he took that disc out and he threw that sucker like it was a frisbee, man. So
Woo.
he absolutely wasn't having it. But we're here to talk about it was a very good year. This song was composed by Ervin Drake in '61 and appeared on Sinatra's '65 album, September of My Years. Marc, you're a fan of this song, right?
I'm familiar with the song. I went back and listened to it when you recommended it. This is a lovely song. Everyone in their life has heard this song
Yep.
at some point. It's whether you recognize. Um, does this appear on the Christmas album at all, or was that just part of the memory you had that ties Frank Sinatra to your dad?
Yeah, part of the memory and the lead,
Oh, okay.
the lead. And I don't think this is going on a Christmas album, but he has so many compilation albums that who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows about
As
these
someone who's
things?
never finished listening to a Christmas album, I didn't know.
There you go.
So
This song though, I think it gets misconstrued. For being a sad and depressing song. Every time I want to put it on, either someone in the household or if I'm in the company of my mom, they're like, "Oh, it's so depressing." But I actually don't think so. If you look more into it, I think it's someone looking back at their youth and saying like, hey, listen, I had very good years. Obviously, you're taking on this journey from the romances during the ages of 17, 21, 35. The music that accompanies these verses almost represents that feeling, and actually the increase of the years and the time between the versions almost acts as that time between the years, which I view as absolutely beautiful. So a lot of people, Marc, might view this as a just a depressing and sappy number and don't want to listen to it, but I think there's more to it.
yeah, I think you make an interesting argument, and I understand why people would say, "Oh, it's just some sad sack reminiscing about how life was better." But I think if you think about Sinatra really iconically, and you picture him in your head, right? He's got the cigarette in one hand with the mic, and then in the other hand, he's got a glass of whiskey. This is just a guy drinking at the bar,
Yep.
having a few smokes, thinking about the good old days. Some loves that have since passed, but thinking about them fondly and remembering that time really fondly. It just happened to be done in a sad, not sad, but in
Maybe the
a
arrangements are a
mellow,
little sad. Yeah.
yeah, in a darker tone. So it doesn't come across as this big happy bubbly number. But I agree with you. I don't think this is like a depressing number. I don't think he's trying to bum people out. I think he's just being genuine about looking back at life.
Absolutely. And you see some of the lyrics. When I was 21, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for city girls who lived up the stair with all that perfumed hair, and it came undone when I was 21. That to me is not looking back and saying that it was bad. Obviously, the second line is it was a very good year. And then at the end, even at the end, when he goes, but now the days are short, I'm in the autumn of the year. Well, if you're thinking about this and you're in the Northeast, the autumn of the year, those days are short. And I think of my life as vintage wine from fine old kegs to the brim to the dregs. It poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year. Sweet, clear, vintage wine. Like those are all positive meanings, really.
Yeah. Well, you stepped over the fact that, and it came undone when I was 21. He banged all those girls. He's talking about their perfumed hair coming down
Yep.
the tops coming off. Sinatra's talking about banging chicks here, folks. Like this is, he's like, yeah, 21. I was Frank Sinatra when I was 21. Like, there wasn't a question about it. Like,
Totally.
so yeah. And then to compare himself, the idea of looking back at wine, right, and saying like that year, that was a good year for this. That was a good year for me. You drinking your Jack, a couple ice cubes, smoking a nice cigarette. Because they were nice back then, and just really Sweet and clear. I mean, he's just having a great time thinking back about it. I don't know a guy who hasn't been just kind of drinking a beer after the end of a long day, thinking back. He's in a good mood and going, yeah, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right.
That's all we're doing here. Yeah, he's having a good time.
And it's never really disclosed his current state, right, as far as what his current feelings are. So never once in any of these four verses is he comparing that then to how he currently is now. So I think it's a positive reflection. His voice affliction is just done so well here, Sinatra. I mean, what can you say? You can tell that the romances were sweet here. Every one of them, and they meant something, and that's what I feel. And it's easy to get wrapped up in the upbeat swing song tunes during this time, but I think this should not go unnoticed for its beauty and of course its reflection, and that's why I think people should check it out. Mark.
Yeah, check out this song, guys.
Absolutely. Of course, there's many good Sinatra tunes out there. A lot of people know, and this one's a very famous one. But give this one another listen and maybe have a different perspective on it. So again, it was a very good year by Frank Sinatra. See you, everyone.
Bye.